so off to Scots again. Becoming a weekly occurrence actually. Got a couple of burgers to drop off. Yeah, so it's been a strange week this week. Got some really actually rather nice guitars, maybe making me rethink a wee bit of my guitar accumulating strategy. I think I might try and get some more sort of Japanese 70s clones, you know, like Ibanez and Toria type like that. That's me this week. I've had I'm working on a Greco Strat, although I'm not sure it was a Greco, but it's definitely a 70s Japanese Strat, and a really nice Ibanez P-Bass, which I've just done a video for this morning, and also an early Squire Telecaster, and they really are awful good. The P-Bass and the Tele, well, I've not played the Strat yet, but I can tell it's going to be good. I've not played it because it doesn't have a bridge, but I don't know, it's like that Tele I found really surprising. I don't know why I should have, but I mean, it's just so easy to play. I was going to take it over to Scots, but I don't mind taking guitars over, you know, doing videos of them and stuff like that. I do videos of them anyway. And actually, if you're the owner of those two Teles, I can't find your message to tell you guitars will be ready on Thursday. Like you said, will they be ready on Thursday because I'm passing by? I was like, yeah, they should be. They will be. I can't find your message. I don't know what happened to it. I should really keep more. I just assumed that by looking at any message I've got in the last week, it would be there. Not there. Yeah, so I don't mind taking guitars off people I know quite well over at Scots for a show and tell sort of thing. I don't want to do it, but it doesn't seem very professional to do it with other people, with people's guitars I've only just met. Not that I'm sure. Anyway, I used to ask everyone, but if you ever get a guitar to get fixed, I used to ask every single person, is it okay if I do a video? And every single one went, oh yeah, do a video. So I just basically stopped asking. If I have done a video of your guitar and you wish to hadn't, then I will pull it, obviously. It might make it more sellable if you ever decide to try and sell it later on. Or if you're trying to, you know, rather than showing a picture of your phone, I'll be, oh, you want to see my guitar? It's great. Alright, cool, have you got a video? Yeah, I'll just do one. Actually, I can just send you one that's already been done. Without having to bother. I'll tell you all about it. Or what I know. Yeah, so early 70s Ibanez and Torians and the like. There's actually, I haven't seen it for a while, there's an Arbiter Les Paul I've been seeing for the last few months for sale. I think it's in Johnston or Paisley, somewhere around about. I'm just paranoid about the car. I've got my power steering light just came on. In my previous Panda, that meant you have to put power steering fluid in. So I'm going to go to a petrol station on the way here and just pick one up. But just whenever you hear any car, because there's a red light on, I just hit one of those cars with a squeaky something. I hear it. And earlier on it was, I think it was a learner. There was a burning smell. And I was like, oh no, is it burning? It's not, it's someone else's car. So you just end up really paranoid about these things. It used to be awful for that in the Land Rover. Because the Land Rover had the engine itself wasn't really that loud, not compared to any other car, but because there was no soundproofing whatsoever in the car, it's like you'd be sitting there at the lights and a truck would come up behind you and it would be like, what the just be a because there's just like a thin shitty bit of aluminium, that was it, and no rubber seals around the door. There were technically rubber seals around the doors, but they didn't really seal very much. Just the sound was just phenomenal. It's actually worse than my pals Land Rover, because mine had the back of mine was a van, but it was plywood lined, and then I carpeted it because I had with offcuts of carpet to make it cool. And what a difference that made compared to my pal who had a much newer Defender, but his was just a metal box in the back, and in the back it really did sound like you were sitting in a metal box. Sound deadening. Yeah, so today I'm going over, as I said, Burger Bob's guitars. It's a very nice call. Bob the Burger. bloke. Bob, I quite like Bob the Burbucker bloke, I'll do that. An interesting Samick, which I haven't actually, to be honest, I'm not even taking it out of the case yet. Out the bag. So it's like a really cool sort of Telestrat hybrid thing. I think from memory, it's got a telly bridge on it, but it's Strat shape. It's got a pointy head. It's quite cool, quite an interesting looking thing. And a wee mini acoustic, which I was going to do a review of in my house, but I mean, may as well do it with Scott. Just talk about it the same way. Again, one of those ones, kind of something nice, a parlour guitar. It's kind of, there's Washburns you can get which look very much like this. This one's a vintage brand one though. You know, it looks like guitars from around about 1900 or 1890 or something. Washburn were making these wee guitars. These were kind of, this is before Martin introduced their Dreadnought, I think. So you didn't really get big, loud acoustics. An acoustic guitar was a wee tiny thing. I think maybe parlour guitars are a bit earlier. That was, I think, the original reason for them, was it not so that when the ladies went to the toilet they could play the parlour guitar so you could hear them plopping and missing. I wonder how true these things are. I don't know if I really fancy it. I actually talked to some, who was it? I can't remember who you are, so you dodged a bullet there, but somebody I know fixed, I don't know if I fixed a guitar for him, I've talked to, had a toilet bass. They sent me a picture of it and it was basically his toilet with a bass hanging on the wall next to it, so he could play the bass when he was taking a dump, and it's just, I don't know, there is a it's like that bit in Into the Dragon where Han, bad guy, he's got a cat and a guillotine and Roper, yeah, like you say, there's a line I won't cross. There's a line I won't cross, and having a toilet guitar is past the line. Although I did used to have guitars in my toilet back in my last house, but that's because the toilet was a partly done attic conversion. So they weren't actually for, you couldn't reach them, you couldn't play it when a guitar when you were sitting in the toilet. I used to hang up guitars on there to get the paint dry and stuff like that. But there's a point where it's like, nah, toilet guitar too much. I'm all for travel. I need to really put my boot bass back in the boot. To be honest, I've not really missed it very much. And hello to Blacktooth Fox is back online. He's now got Wi-Fi again. So I'm interested to see if we get a chance to talk to him a bit more. He did actually, was it last week's live stream? He phoned during it and said hello to everyone. So I think he'll probably be back on the live stream next week. We kind of missed the guy. Going through, what was it? I was going to make a really sarcastic comment in the video we did earlier on. He said something about hunters, and I was just gonna, I really wanted to change it. You're like, cunters, you mean? And I thought, nah, I don't want to be putting that sort of language on someone else's Facebook page, or not Facebook page, YouTube channel. Put it on my own. I don't care. I think as long as you're not offending anyone. I think I'm past offending anyone, to be honest. You know, if you watch the things, you know the intent behind everything anyway. If I do say something incredibly offensive, it's because I think it's funny, not because I'm racist or homophobic or whatever, or nasty. That's not the point, no. It's just the fact that I thought it was funny because it's really inappropriate. Kind of like Blazing Saddles. I ended up watching a couple of things with reaction videos to folk watching Blazing Saddles, and people just don't know how to deal with it. I suppose it was the 70s. I was born in the 70s, but I kind of remember, TV humour being a bit crude and tough, which obviously you can't do. I mean, you couldn't make Blazing Saddles now. Not at all. Because it's just, people would just hear the language used and just be like, no, you can't have that. And it's like, but the thing is, it's like, it's there's unbelievably racist people in Blazing Saddles, but they're idiots. It's more a commentary, it's a satire, it's not actual, you know. But that's the thing about, you know, it's like, it's an awful lot of, you know, when the black people been called the N-word and treated like slaves, and they're worried about losing a $50 hand cart. Not really that bothered about the two guys that were on it, all that sort of stuff. But those guys, they got their comeuppance, and it's not like they weren't they weren't total idiots. They were, you know. It's like, I don't know where the culture changes. It's quite worrying sometimes. You end up not being able to say anything, but then you get the freedom of speech, and it's like, yeah, there is freedom of speech, but there's not. It can't be unfettered freedom of speech. It's got to be illegal. For example, in James O'Brien is just an example. If you're in a busy railway station, you're not allowed to just shout out, "I've got a bomb!" cause widespread panic. That should be illegal. You should be able to be free to say whatever you like, but or shout fire. You know, it's like. It's a case of, it's not a case of that, no, you shouldn't have freedom of speech, or you should. There's a line somewhere. Everyone must agree there's a line, because you can't go into a crowded place and just shout fire. That's totally wrong. And where does it come out the other side? You often find that a lot of the people that are really, really for freedom of speech is because they want to be racist. They want to be able to say whatever they want, and it's like, but you can't have. Generally, these exact same people are so against freedom of speech. If you want to be, or not if you want to be, if you're gay and want to tell someone or whatever, a whole kettle of worms of inappropriateness and dodginess, which I assume everyone else feels exactly this. Well, not everyone. The vast majority of people feel the same way about these issues like I do, where it's kind of like, I don't really know what to think or do or say, I'm just worried about it. I don't know where does it come in, and I don't know. No problem with the gays, they're fine, I don't mind, do whatever you want. Within reason. Again, do whatever you want, but don't go kitty fiddling or doing anything against anyone's will or anything like that. So it's, you know, it's like, again, there's always a line you have to draw. I wonder if there's a Halfords here. I'm trying to think of a jetpack to get this power steering through. I'm getting paranoid again with it. I see. Don't normally notice these things, but I can smell burning as a right grotty looking transit van 100 yards ahead, and I'm hoping that is what the smell's coming from. It kind of looks like it. Yeah, it's got to be, I hope. Oh, I got worried about panicking. It's my car that's on fire. This is all because of the power steering. If the power steering fluid was that bad, I wouldn't be able to steer. I don't think it would burn. Plus I'm going in a straight line, so it wouldn't be using it. Nah, it's got to be that truck. I can see the black smoke coming back in from here. Yeah. Okay, so what a load of twaddle I've been saying about it. I've got some videos coming up. I've still not done the Aaron one. It's just like, to be honest, it's like editing a video takes significantly longer than just doing another video. It's like a live one, if you will, which all my videos are live anyway. Very rarely is it more than one take. You know, okay, if after like 2 minutes, I'll redo it. Generally, I think the problem is, I think it's probably about the same as recording. Like if you're doing home recordings as well. If like, once you've done 2 or 3 takes for 5 minutes, I can no longer remember. Have I said this? I don't know. I said it in one of the videos. Did I? Slow car. A slow van just at the very precipice of where my junction is. On a dual carriageway doing 35 mile an hour. It's just great. Just so close to the junction that I just don't. Oh, so slow. Road rage. Oh, the junction's still got a couple of miles to go. He's getting taken. This stupid driving too slow van. I was stuck at lights earlier on when I first turned the camera on. No, not lights, just at a junction, a car turning right. And see, people who don't have any concept of the size of their car, maybe put a bit of effort into learning how the size of your car. And I assume it was an old woman, but it was like a car turning right. We were both going left, she was in front of me, and she sat there for, I don't know, 3 minutes, because turning right at that junction was a really bad one. But there was so much room, and she went along and she drove her car along the curb with her alloys just going. I could hear them round this curb, and I'm not joking, she was 6 feet away from the car that she was trying to get past. There was easily enough room. And the thing is, it's like that's the not under. I can sort of maybe understand you're not really fully aware of where the back corner of your car is. The door was there, it's just on her right hand side. There's the car. She must be able to see and go like up here. Oh, there's almost 2 meters between my wing mirror and the car that's right there. I'll just drive along the curb where it's actually scraping along. Don't know. Do suffer from road rage a little bit. At least I don't generally try and drive too much. Just get thanked by a truck. Yeah. So I try not to drive at rush hour. So one of the things I don't miss about. Well, even then it wasn't too bad working for my dad, because we would tend to. Well, let's be honest, we started work late and ended early. There's that whole thing about trying to see having a job where you've got to drive an hour of traffic to get to work. When at night, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning, it takes 15 minutes and you're there for an hour. That stuff just enraging. There should be less cars on the road. But we need to have a different government for that. Let's have a government that actually lets you have electric cars and buses and doesn't sell the buses to private companies or aren't given huge wadges of cash personally in brown envelopes by the fossil fuel industry to keep making gas. I was watching that absolute abhorrent horror on politics this morning, Prime Minister's questions. Liz Truss with her pure, yeah, so if you're in Scotland, we're doing lots of things for Scotland, trying to get nuclear power stations up and running. You're like, fucking, we don't need nuclear fucking power stations, please. Make 300% of our power we make from renewable sources and then give it free to the rest of it. So it's like, we don't need nuclear power, please. Nuclear's not a good thing. I don't know if I know they were trying to start up the Hunterston, which is on the Clyde reactor. Was it last year or the year before? And it was there was so many EU legislation or whatever it was allowed so many cracks per meter in the core of a nuclear power station. Up here, right? So you're allowed 3. There's 5 at Hunterston per meter. There's 5 cracks. Okay. So they sorted it so they can start it up again. What they did was they changed the law to allow 10 cracks. Right. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Bastard EU making things safe. How dare they? You know, it's like, no. But okay, it's saving lives and it's making it so it doesn't pollute the Clyde for 10,000 years. But what about the rich people? What about the people who've got billions of pounds and invest in these things? They need to make more money. You've got to think of the important people. Unfortunately, that's what the Westminster government, that's what everything they do is based on. It's like, oh right, okay, people will die, will they? Right. Poor people. No, they're not poor people, they're just normal people. Oh, what year did they go to Eton? Do I know any of them? No, they didn't go to Eton. Let them die, fuck them. And that's British politics in a nutshell. Not all of it. I'll back Sturgey. Anyone who doesn't like Sturgey has been lied to. Believes what other people, kind of like Oasis again. I'll go for a double rant, put Oasis in it as well. I think quite a lot of people like Oasis because they were told they're really cool and great. What's your personal opinion? Oh, I don't have a personal opinion. Right. You're allowed to think for yourself. You're allowed to take the information in and then decide, or not decide. Don't believe what somebody tells you. Don't believe the BBC, basically. Again, going for politics again. Sturgey's all over the newspapers saying she detests Tories. Of course she does. She's a human being. Everyone detests Tories, but it's clever the way they've worded it. Because what she actually said is, I detest the Tories and their policies. The Tories, the Conservative Party, not individual people. But they figured, all the newspapers figured, that's kind of reasonable. See if we take the out, it sounds like she's actually attacking somebody and there's something wrong with that. And you're like, what? A load of shit. So, I wonder if Scott's back. He was away getting a carpet, I believe. If he's not back, I'm going to go and get, I'm going to find a Halfords and get myself some power steering.